Call of Duty is 22 years old as of this year, meaning that they're old enough to drink, old enough to drive, not old enough to do both at the same time. No, nobody do that. But above all, old enough to have their very own history of memes and inside jokes. From respectable button mashing to YouTube poop, today we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane and looking at my favorite memes from the COD sphere. And of course, this is a YouTube video after all, so we'll be placing each one on an engagement-friendly tier list. From ones that have busted out of our little corner of the internet to be more commonplace, to those that only the smallest percentage of COD fans will even know. So yeah, that's the grading rubric. Let's get into the first one. And I think this one is one that, everybody out there should know. Let's all hit our favorite key on the keyboard and pay some respects to press F to pay respects. Now, this is a weird one because it comes from Advanced Warfare, which I would honestly consider to be one of the least memorable Call of Duty games, but yet this might be the most recognizable frame from any Call of Duty game. That's probably a lie. There's probably a billion more, but this is easily the inside joke that has gone the furthest. And now, if you don't know the origin, I don't think it was meant to be a joke. Like, it's played off in the campaign like a very somber moment. The main character's like best friend just died at the end of the first mission, and it's supposed to be this very like somber and reflective moment. And in that moment, some game designer was probably like, how do we connect the player to this? How do we help them engage in this fucking funeral? It's part of like Twitch culture, you know, spamming F in chat. And for that reason, I think it's got to go into commonplace, right? Next up is a more recent one. I wasn't in that tank.
Well, I wasn't in that tank.
Which of course refers to Graves' explanation for why he is still alive after... And now this one, I think, has just kind of stuck around a little bit longer than it really should have, because, it keeps happening. It feels like every single character who has died in Call of Duty has shown back up in multiplayer at some point. And while I'm not gonna get into the whole, like, is multiplayer canon to the campaign, honestly, like, it really shouldn't be. But at least back in MW22, when this quote was around, they really were trying to connect them. And it very much felt like the campaign team wanted to kill this guy, but the multiplayer team or the analytics department, whoever decides what operators should come back, because that's not a creative decision. Let's be real. That's just looking at analytics and saying, oh, well, you know what? We actually see a spike in COD point sales when we introduce a Ghost bundle, so Ghost needs to be in this game, right? All that it was somebody was like, hey, people really like Graves. Let's bring Graves back. And then some poor writer had to go back and write in this infamous line. That said, though, I think this one has a no expiration. Because, like I said, it keeps happening. It happened with Soap. It happened with, it was Nolan in MW3? I don't know. It's just going to keep happening, and I find that funny. Next up, we got another classic.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
I think this one's pretty commonplace. I'm just going to rock it right through this one. Oh, here's a good one. We got Onion Woods.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason.
Honestly, I hate this meme. I really do. I'm going to put this one in overstayed welcome. It feels like it was written to be a meme. You know what I mean? Cold War was like in that era of like them trying to make every single campaign character this like quippable superhero character. And not to say that we're outside of that era quite yet. I mean, BO6 is very much that still. But I don't know. They didn't lean into it nearly as much. And it was this kind of like weird gray area where like you would have legacy characters like Woods saying shit like this. And it was like, what the fuck? Next up, we got No Russian.
Remember, no Russian.
Now, I don't think it's commonplace. I'm going to put it here next to No Expiration, because I feel like there's plenty of people in the community quoting No Russian still to this day. I mean, technically, the new No Russian just happened last year. We don't talk about that game, though, not on this channel. It was probably my first, like, oh shit gaming moment back in, what, was I, like, fucking 13 or something? Solid moment that every time someone brings it up, I'm brought right back to that mass shooting. That sounds more like PTSD than anything, but moving on. Also from the original MW2, you got RAMIREZ.
Ramirez!
The dude single-handedly took down the entire Russian army, and Foley, for all of that, Foley didn't even say thank you. So the meme became shit like, Ramirez, beer run, Ramirez, take down that tactical nuke, here's a toothbrush, type shit. And Ramirez was just this biblical creature. Ramirez was just this super soldier, this god among men, and I love it. I'm gonna just stick it in standard here. Like, when I think of a Call of Duty meme, this is what I think of. Oh, and actually fits right in with it. We got Burger Town. Burger Town, if I remember right, originated also in MW2. Actually, in the same mission with all the Ramirez stuff, one of the locations that they were locking down was a Burger Town. And so that's, I think, why like it really sticks in people's heads. It was also on a number of multiplayer maps that year. Terminal, I think, was the biggest one. Kind of like a little running gag. I'm gonna put this, though, down into terminally niche, because I don't think, like, the broader audience has any idea what Burger Town is. I would like for them to really expand on the lore of Burger Town. I want some kind of, like, Five Nights level, like, hidden ciphers and notes and shit. Oh, actually, wait, this was in a zombies map, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, I completely forgot about this. So Burger Town was actually like a major part of Advanced Warfare Zombies. I'm trying to find the map name. Oh, it was Infection. The map Infection. Honestly, most of us just called it Burger Town, that map, because, like, how the fuck are you gonna name a zombies map Infection? And then it also showed up in America, the multiplayer map, and the campaign level. So honestly, there's a lot more Burger Town references than I thought. I still don't think it's something that, like, the mainstream audience has really caught on to. Maybe. I don't know. It might be a stretch. Next up, we got Train Go Boom.
Train go boom.
Still to this day, the only memorable part of the BO3 campaign. This is gonna be a hot take. I'm sorry. I said I was done with hot takes for a bit, but I'm back again. Sorry, everyone. I've relapsed. Black Ops 3 is not nearly as good as people say it was. You got three main modes, right? You got multiplayer, which, to be fair, is the best of the jetpack Call of Duties. That said, though, it is still a jetpack COD. So for me, even though it's the best of the jetpack CODs, it's still easily like bottom 50% as far as multiplayers go. Zombies wasn't too great outside of Der Eisendrock until Zombies Chronicles dropped. Plus mod tools, so Zombies, I'll give you that. BO3 Zombies is incredible. But then you have the campaign. The campaign is legitimately, it was, at least for the longest time, the worst Call of Duty campaign, in my opinion. And, like, I'm sorry, if you only have one mode that's actually really good, another one that's bottom 50%, and another one that's bottom, like, 10%, that's not a good game. I'm sorry. Anyway, Train Go Boom, the meme itself, I think it's also pretty standard. I'm gonna stick it right here next to Ramirez. All right, now, I think most of those were all campaign-based, so let's do a couple that are a little bit more multiplayer focused. We got just the concept of Mountain Dew. Been synonymous with Call of Duty since probably like COD 4. For as long as I can remember, I've been getting double XP codes from Mountain Dew bottles. That said, though, I think it's overstayed its welcome. I think it peaked with them putting Mountain Dew and Doritos in Cold War, and I don't know, there comes a point where, like, they're too self-aware, and now they're playing into it a little bit too much, you know? I mean, Sims is literally drinking a Mountain Dew here. And then hand in hand with Mountain Dew and Doritos, you have those old school MLG edits. Now, this is from an era of YouTube that I adore. Maybe it's the editor in me, but I remember back when like content creators were judged more on how flashy their edits were, at how properly timed to the dubstep their shots were, rather than, you know, how many nukes they could drop in Warzone or whatever. Now, that said, like, this type of content is, like, it's the most chronically online, terminally niche, I think. I think that's the only place it really can go. Those montages were cool, but, boy, were they not cool. Oh, now this is a new one. This is a GIF that would show up if you typed hop on Cold War into the GIF search bar. This is very terminally niche as well. Like, it wasn't even in the game itself. I don't actually know the origin. I've never been brave enough to venture into the origin. So you know what? For that reason, it's got to go into terminally niche. Next up, we got a World War II meme.
A bomb's been planted on our ammo supply.
A bomb has been planted on our ammo supply. There were a couple of lines in World War II's war mode that were just mixed insanely loud. They're taking B. That was another one. I do think it's probably a standard meme. It's a perfectly average joke. Next up, we got another recent one. We got Ghost in the car. Now, I haven't said it in a while because I didn't want to, like, hammer it to death, but I really don't like New Ghost. He's not a good character. So I'm shoving him right here into Overstayed Welcome. Ooh, revive me, I have a ray gun. Oh, this is perfect. I love this one. This one's going up here in no expiration. It is a joke that will never die. Next up, we got Snoop Dogg. I guess just like the concept of Snoop Dogg, just like in being in more Call of Duty games than Ghost. I don't know where I put this guy. Like, I guess no expiration, maybe standard. You know what, let's put it into standard. It will get old eventually, but I don't think we're there yet. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. We got last Gen Richtofen. You remember him? BO3, I believe, was the last Call of Duty game to be available on the PS3 generation. And so, specifically, Richtofen at the end of the Shadows Easter egg is just the goofiest looking guy. I love him. I don't know, he's going into no expiration. I love that guy. Next up, we got...
What you're seeing is advanced warfare.
I don't think this one's as big of a meme as it might be in my head, to be honest. I think it just sticks out because he literally turns to the camera and says the name of the game. I'm gonna put it down here in terminally niche. I don't know that it's necessarily that niche, but I do think like it's the closest thing we got on this list, at least. Then we got 1v1 me on Rust, bro. Yeah, I think this one is, again, one of the very few that has like become commonplace. It's just where you settled arguments back in 2010, man. Next up, we got fog rolling in.
These characters are meeting surrounded by the horrors of fog rolling in. I love fog rolling in. Origins takes place in fog rolling in. We pay homage to fog rolling in.
Now this one's definitely a niche one, but it's a niche one that I love. And now if you weren't around back then, this is from, I believe it was the Origins trailer. Jason Blundell had a line, fog rolling in. He's just describing one of the features of the map. And I don't know why everybody kind of latched onto it. It might be because the feature of fog rolling in over the map already existed 2 years prior in Call of the Dead. And just earlier that year, they released what was probably at the time the worst received zombies map, Transit, which was just covered in this dense layer of fog that nobody liked. It also definitely helped that Origins came out and it was an incredible map. I think most people are comfortable putting it in their best maps of all time category. But that said, in order to actually know it, you have to be so online. You just need to have been there back then. And not many people were, I don't think. And last but not least, we have the granddaddy of Call of Duty memes, one that will not die as long as they are making yearly Call of Duty titles. This will not go, and that is the Call of Duty Cycle meme. If anybody's unfamiliar, here are the steps. In November, everybody goes crazy over how good the new COD is. Then in January, everybody enjoys the game. By February, everyone hates the game. In March, they say that the older game is now the best game. In May, they go crazy over the next COD trailer, and then it all cycles back again. And now, I don't actually know when this meme was created. This was definitely the COD cycle back in, like, you know, the original MW2, MW3 era. And honestly, it continued to happen almost perfectly for like 10 years. And now it is still happening. The difference is, though, everything is sped up now. This hate the game like everybody else that usually we see in February, that's happening right now. And at the time of recording this, it's actually still December. It's December 31st. Happy New Year. So what I love, though, is that it is such an old meme, but it is still applicable to this day. And because of that, I have to put it over here in no expiration. Unless Call of Duty dies, the Call of Duty cycle will prevail. That's my list. That is every single Call of Duty meme that I could think of, at least, really quickly. What's your favorite Call of Duty inside joke? Do you know any? Anyway, that's about it. A huge shout out to our channel members listed right here. Those in the top tier, I would put above Last Gen Richtofen on the list of skins that I want in the new Call of Duty game. Their names are Gordorokos, Dennis the Menace, Skiri2605, and Shane M. Thank you so much. Thank you to the rest of my channel members, and thank you to you for watching the video and not clicking off. and you're still here. That's crazy, because I already put up the little things to click to watch a new video. You really should click on whatever it's recommending right now. It's probably a good video. Anyway, bye.